वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शतभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय 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 श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय व्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा द्वारिका धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय श्री भगवत गीता की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text number 60. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayorapi drashto andas, tvayi anayos tattvadarashivihi. नासतो विद्यते भावो ना भावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस् त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस त्वनयोस्त्वत्वदर्शिनः न never asatah for the non-existent vidyate there is bhavaha endurance na never abhava changing quality vidyate there is satah for the eternal ubhayo of the two api verily drishtah observed antah conclusion tu but anayoho of them tattva true darashibhi by the seers. So from this text up to text number 24, Lord is explaining the vision of the seers of truth. Means the tattvadarshi, the person who sees the truth as it is. What they see in this material world. In their point of view, how things are seen. That has explained in this verse. So here Lord says, those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence there is no endurance, and of the existent there is no cessation. These seers have concluded by studying the nature of both. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existence there is a no endurance, and of the existence there is a no cessation. Na asato bhavo, na bhavo asato sata. These seers have concluded by studying the both of nature, purport. There is a no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of the different cells is admitted by modern medical science. And thus, growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind. That is the difference between matter and spirit. By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of truth, both impersonalist and personalist. In the Vishnu Puran, it is stated that Vishnu and his abode all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotishmashi Vishnu, Bhavanani Vishnu. Jyotishmashishir Vishnu Bhavanani Vishnu. The words existent and non-existence refer only to spirit and matter. That is the version of all the seers of truth. This is the beginning of the instructions by the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. The removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of the eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the supreme personality of a Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme through the study of oneself. The difference between oneself and the Supreme Being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole. In the Vedanta Sutras as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. Such emanations are experienced by the superior and inferior natural sequences. The living entities belong to the superior nature as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. Although there is no difference between the energy and energetic, the energetic is accepted as the supreme and energy of a nature is accepted as the subordinate. The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of the master and servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such a clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time. A very important thing that Prabhupada has given in the last line. He says, clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such a ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of the living entities for all time. It was not just for the time of Dwapar Yuga, but it's meant for all time. And that's why it seems to be relevant for today also. And it does not have any barricades of caste, creed, nationality, or your physical or other locations. But it is made for all living entities. It's not bound to only a human society or one particular community, but it is for all living entities who have emanated from the Lord. That need to be understood. So this text 16, it clearly speaks about the vision of those who view the world based on scriptures. And there are 4 points they have discussed. So one point is discussed in this particular verse. That is, the clear vision helps one avoid lamentation on the bodily platform. No death for a soul and no endurance for the body. See, that Arjuna's arguments not to fight, which is based on 5 different reasons that he has put forward. He was putting forward arguments in front of the Lord that why he don't want to fight. What is there? So the first point was compassion that we are dealing with. And Lord is refuting about that argument from text number 11. And he is going to refute that till the text number 30. So right now, Lord is speaking about or establishing thing that one has to understand, that there is no death for the soul and there is no endurance for the body. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. What is that? Asata. Asata means which is not eternal. So what is not eternal? Body. Because as Lord previously has explained already, Dehino yata deham, dehe sarvasya bharata. Kaumaram yavvanam jaraha tatha dehantara prapti. In the same life we have seen up to this point, or up till that, we were as a fetus in mother's womb. We came out. Then it's like a baby which does not have his own ability to do anything. It needs help. Then slowly started growing. We are same what we are, but we have changed our different bodies within this lifetime. So it shows that the body changes at each and every moment. due to the reactions of different cells in the body. And now it is medically proved that every 7 years, our body is totally new. Because all the cells, they get totally changed. Because every day we take bath, thousands or millions of cells from our body, they dies. And that's why we take bath actually. Because these dead bodies or dead cells should go away and our body becomes clean. So it proves that body does not endure, and people are trying for that. Like there was a famous actor, Devanand. He tried to keep himself fresh and youthful. He did like several times plastic surgery on his face to take out the wrinkles from his body. He lived more than 90 years actually, around 96 or 90 years. Spend billions of rupees to get done that. But what happened? The nature of body is to dwindle and die. It gets destroyed. Because it is not permanent. It is asat. So the seers, they see through the scriptures. So their vision is that there is no endurance for the body. But modern scientists, what is their progress? They are trying to keep alive and youthful to this body, which is very difficult. Just try to understand. Nowadays, people, what they do, artificially they want to keep alive that person. Soul wants to leave that body. He is attached to body, but he wants to leave body, but it's never happening for him. So what happens? He goes in coma. Brain gets dead. But after death, heart remains alive for 24 hours actually. So they keep pumping that heart by putting ventilators. So what they do? They try to keep alive this body through material or through machines. So what they are creating a more suffering for that soul who wants to leave the body. So do you think it is good? Like your closest person is going to die. He wants to leave this body and you are forcing him to live in that body. What is that? And people, they spend in lakhs. One of my colleagues is in hospital actually. And they have put him on the ventilators for last 5 days. They thought that he will be alive. Doctor already said that his brain is dead. So there is no response. But they want that, no, people should not say that we have not tried. For that reason, they are doing everything. Ultimately, day before yesterday, they decide that they take him away. So we try to endure this body which is not going to last long. So he is telling Arjuna, your argument that you don't want to fight because of compassion, that these people of mine, my relatives, my grandfather, my teacher, my uncle, my nephews, they are going to get killed. And the soldiers, actually, they are not going to enjoy kingdom or anything, but for my sake, they are going to die. And Lord Krishna is putting forward him, it is your duty to fight if they have challenged you. So don't go away from your duty. And anyhow, if you are not killing them, their body is going to die. They are not going to live eternally. In other sense, you can think that you are giving them chance to have a next new body rather than having this, like a Drona and Kripacharya. Oh no, Kripacharya is Chiranjeevi. So Dronacharya and Bhishma has a boon to live for as per his will, Ichamrityu. So he was actually like a 365 years old that time on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So do you think his body was that responsive for him? So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are giving them chance to change their bodies. So why you are worried about that? Why you are so much thinking so much about that? And soul is eternal. It's not going to die. It will keep changing the bodies according to the karma. So Arjuna, don't try to escape from performing your duties. So he says this, that anyhow, you try to understand that this Kauravas, they are not going to escape death even if you are not killing them. The nature of body is going to get destructed. Then why you are trying to save them? What is the reason behind that? And then in the next verse, Lord is explaining Arjuna. Yes.
That means which is Tattva. Here saying body and soul is different, but it is a Tattva.
Principle. Tattva means principle. So what is the principle? The truth is that body is not lasting and soul is not getting destroyed. That is the principle. That is Tattva. हाँ हाँ, जो जानता है क्या जानता है? सत्य को जानता है. और सत्य क्या है? कि शरीर नश्वर है और आत्मा शाश्वत है. इस तत्व को जो जानता है वो तत्वदर्शी है. हिंदी में बोलो. हाँ, जो ठीक है चल रहा है, ठीक है. So in the next verse he says, अविनाशिस्तु तद्विद्धि येन सर्वम इदम ततम विनाशम अव्यय यस्यास्य न कश्चित कर्तुम अर्हति. Know that which pervades the entire body is indestructible. No one is able to destroy the imperishable soul. So again, he is strengthening his point. He is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, whatever pervading your body, that is soul. Prabhupada says this verse actually clearly explains the real nature of soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. What is that? How you can realize that soul is there in the body? Through consciousness, चेतना. चेतना के द्वारा आत्मा की शरीर में अभिव्यक्ति होती है. जैसे एक मृत शरीर से क्या निकल जाता है जो शरीर को अचेतन बना देता है? आत्मा. Everyone is conscious of the pain and pleasures of the body in a part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. I can spread out my consciousness to others. It's me only, and it's my body, because it has its own limitation. Vyashti. He can do that. He has done, that's why we are alive. The pains and pleasure of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and every body is embodiment of an individual soul. And the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as an individual consciousness. This soul is described as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. Is there any laboratory which can going to measure this measurement? Is there? No. But this has explained when? Millions of years back. The Shvetashvatara Upanishad confirms this. Balagrashata bhagasya shatada kalpitasya cha bhago jivah savidneya sachanyataya sacha anantyaya kalpate. When the upper point of hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such a parts is further divided into 100 parts, each such a part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Can you imagine? That same spirit soul is keep moving, and an elephant, dinosaurs. All they are kept moving by this minute particle of the Lord, which is known as a soul. Again, in the another scripture, it is explained. Keshagra shatabhagasya shatamsha cha shad rasatmakaha jiva sukshma swarupoyam sankhyaatito hichitkanaha. There are innumerable particles of a spiritual atoms, which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper portion of the hair. Keshagra shatabhagasya shatada kalpitasya. Shatamshaha sadrushatmakaha. Same thing, but Keshara Shatabhasya Shatamsha, again, that Shatamsha, again, 100 part of that. Therefore, the individual particle of a spirit soul is a spiritual atom smaller than the material atoms, and such atoms are innumerable. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body. And the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. I'm again repeating this. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body. And the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spread throughout the body. This current of the spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness. And that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is dead body. And this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of a material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mandukya Upanishad, the measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. Esho ranuratma chetasa veditavyo yasmin prana panchada samvishesha pranaishchittatma sarvam votam prajanam yasmin vishuddhe vibhavatyayeshatma. The soul is atomic in a size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in 5 kinds of air: prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. It's situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contaminations of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. See, it's very important point has explained. So it brings you toward yoga, practicing of pranayama. The soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air: Pran, Apan, Vyan, Saman, and Udan. So he's floating because of these airs. And it is said here, when the soul is purified from the contaminations of the 5 kinds of a material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. So the people who do this meditation or pranayam vishesha, when they do asana siddhi, when they are able to sit in one particular posture for more than 3 minutes, then it is considered that that person has little bit learn about that particular asana. And if someone does sadhana on that, for sitting together and start breathing and controlling this floating, these airs, the material airs in the body, and when they are stable and controlled by that person, then the soul exhibits its influence in the body. We don't care about this one, do we? Huh? Really?
Nobody taught us about that. Yes?
Why Prabhupada, while chanting, he said, sit straight? Why is it?
Concentrate.
Yes. Because when you sit straight, automatically the whole canal for the passage of air becomes straight. And this air never gets clogged and it keeps moving properly. So you become able to concentrate. Ekag. In the next para, Prabhupada says, the Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling 5 kinds of air, encircling your soul by different kinds of sitting postures. Not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. Does it make sense? Huh? See, Prabhupada, how elaborately has explained this. We should know. काय हो मंडळी, कधी विचार केला या गोष्टीचा? शेषशाही सारखे पडून असतो आपण, बट ते आपल्या साधनेवर किती फरक टाकतं हे त्याच्याहून कळतं. कारण जोपर्यंत ह्या पक्षामध्ये बसत नाही आणि त्याच्यामध्ये बसून जप करत नाही, तोपर्यंत तो एकाग्रतेने होऊ शकत नाही. So here, why one has to do these asanas and pranayama? Prabhupada writes here, the Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air, encircling the pure soul by different kinds of sitting postures. Not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So yoga is not meant for having a good health actually. It's meant to liberate us from the bondage. I was surprised. People, they think if you do yoga, then your body becomes very thin and lean. But I generally go for Kumbh Melas. I never saw any yogis like a skeleton. There you can see Hatha yogis are like so strong, well built up. Even some are like a plumpy, having big belly. Have you heard about Narendra Yogi? Oh, no, you people are from not India. Actually, Narendra Yogi was a great yoga teacher. He used to teach yoga to Indira Gandhi. He was her teacher. His spiritual master, I saw his picture. He had such a big belly. And he taught yoga to that person. Real yoga and all other postures, they are meant for what? Liberating soul from the contaminations of this material layers. It's not for reducing fat from this side, fat from that side, huh? Looking so thin and lean. That's a byproduct. But nobody cares about the real product of yoga, which is purifying soul. Now, at least in America, they are giving more emphasis on meditation because everyone is reckless and restless. They don't know how to sit, don't know how to eat. They walk and eat like animals. Do you think that is going to give them a peace of mind? Generally, when you eat, you should sit quietly in the proper posture, and that your right clear. If that time, then it gets digested. Otherwise, that same thing creates kapha in the body. When your left nostril is clear, you should drink water. If not, and if you drink water, that water also harms you. That creates acidity in the body. That's this.
How do you do that? Like that?
You can check it out. So left nostril is very clear. Right is clogged. It always, every like a 1.5 hours, it changes. You check it that. According to that, you should eat. It's not that now 2 o'clock, so I should eat. You check it out. Is it clear? Then you can eat. That get digested. So if you want to remain healthy, style and stout, this is a simple formula that you should follow. This is called as a Swarodaya Shastra. You can know which swara is going on, and according to that you do your activities. That helps. Why we sleep on the left, LSD they call, left side down after eating? So that your right nostril, that should get opened up. And then the air flows, the heat, the hot air flows. So this one is, left one is Ida and this one is known as Pingala, Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi. To digest, for digestion, what do you need? You need a fire. If you inhale from the right nostril, that will help you to digest, burn everything in the stomach or belly. When you sleep on left one, that will cools down your body. So whenever you have a fever, you should be on the right hand side. So you should inhale the, that's the naturopathy. That is what Ayurveda teaches us. All these things, the impacts on your spiritual life. Because who we are a spiritual part and parcel of the Lord. We are not this matter. But we got entangled into the matter, so we are getting affected by matter. And it is clearly said here, when you will understand this influence of soul, it's clearly mentioned here, when the soul is purified from the contaminations of 5 kinds of a material air, its spiritual influence will be exhibited. Unless and until not. Why the Brahma Muhurta has said to chant? You have to get up at Brahma Muhurta and chant your rounds. If you get up and check your both nostrils, during the Brahma Muhurta, both your nostrils are working properly. If not, procedure has given this Sandhya Vandana. What do you do through Sandhya Vandana? You do pranayam before that. So you give ayam to your prana, and then you are prepared to do your sadhana. So once this right and left nostrils are opened, you can able to concentrate and meditate on your mantra, what you are chanting or whatever sadhana you are doing. So any karma kanda you do, what is the first thing they tell you? Achaman, after that nyasa, and then pranayam. Why is it so? Because when you do Achman, you purify your body externally. Then you chant the names of Lord. That purifies you internally. And when you do this nyasa, through nyasa, you activate all the points, the whatever points you are touching with that, these are your marvasthanas in the body. So you are activating them. After activating them, what do you do? You activate prana, doing pranayama. And then you are ready to perform your sadhana. It has more importance. It's not just a ritual. Our great, here Lord says that they are tattvadarshis. Whoever has given this, they are tattvadarshis. They are not like a, what's the rascal? Darwin, who was thinking that our ancestors were monkeys. They were not monkeys. Look his picture. He looks like a monkey actually. Our ancestors were great seers of the truth. They were tattvadarshis. So whatever they have given, now these rascals, they are doing research on that and earning millions of rupees. Can you imagine? Ah, which is your gotra? Yes. Each kula has a gotra, and these rishis are there, who are the seers of the truth. And they have given this science to us. And see how scientifically it has explained, you know. This particular purport has explained elaborately about the size of soul, where it resides. And now they are struggling for that. Because you can't see that through material eyes, but still it is said you can know through by the presence, by the activities. What is the difference between dead and alive? The presence of soul. What is the presence of soul? It gives you sensation. Consciousness is there. That's why you have a sensation. You can feel pleasure and pain. If it is not there, then how you will feel? So everything is so meticulously explained in our scriptures. But we still jump on the Western science that because, oh, it may prove us everything. It has. It does not. Then further, Prabhupada writes here, so the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all the Vedic literatures. And it is also actually felt in the practical experience of any sane man. If you are a sane, you will understand this. If you are insane, we can't help you. And that's why Lord says that if someone is foolish, he will not understand this knowledge. And just to take out the foolishness of Arjuna, Lord is giving this whole knowledge to him. Once you know this, so nobody can call you as a fool. Only the sane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading. What?
Only the insane man can think.
Only the insane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. So Prabhupada is calling here Mayavadis as insane. Because they think that this same atomic soul as a Narayana, as a Parameshwar, Paramabhya. No. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over a particular body, according to the Manduka Upanishad. This atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity. And because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the material scientists, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. Because seeing is believing. If it is seen, then they believe. But you can't see, can you? Can you see the tip of hair? Can you?
Tip of the hair.
That's what I'm asking. Tip of the hair, can you see it? Cut it into 100 parts.
Then no. You get the tip of the hair.
Again, that the 100 part of that 100 thing, again divide into 100. So it's like a 10,000 part of your hair. That's the size of soul. Is there any machine that can appreciate the measurements? No. And that's why here it is said, insane man cannot believe in this because they can't see. Like I was seeing, someone sent me one video. One professor, he was coming out from his house and he was going to the car. So, like the whole family was sitting outside and they were enjoying something, they were eating something. So that person, while going, he said, "Hey, what's going on?" Then everyone said, "By God's grace, everything is good." He said, "Which God?" He said, "Professor, you don't know God?" He said, "I don't believe in God. He doesn't exist." And he said, "Why?" "Because I can't see God." Then that small child, he asked, "Professor, do you have intelligence?" He said, "Yeah, I do have." "Can you see your intelligence?" He said, "Can't." That means you don't have intelligence. Because you can't see your intelligence, so you don't have intelligence. Because seeing is believing, so if you don't see, then it's not there. Then how you believe that there is intelligence? Because so he says, same way you can feel the presence of Lord if you have that transparent via media through which you can understand. Then further he says, the influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over the particular body. According to the Mandukya Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity. So location is also fixed. It is in the heart. And because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of the materialist scientists, some of them assert foolishly that there is no soul. The individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all the energies of bodily movement are emanating from this part of the body. The corpuscles which carry the oxygen from the lungs gather energy from the soul. Sometimes that things comes. To keep moving, you need some energy. From where that energy comes? Why that heart pumps? Huh? What makes that heart pumps? The presence of soul, the energy. And because of the pumping, is all corpuscles, they carry the oxygen from heart to different parts of the body. Medical science accepts the importance of the red corpus, but it cannot ascertain that the source of energy is the soul. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of the energy of the body. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In the sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental part of the Supreme Lord are atomic sparks of the rays of the Supreme Lord, called by the name Prabha or superior energy. Neither Vedic knowledge nor modern science denies the existence of a spirit soul in the body. And the science of the soul is explicitly described in Bhagavad Gita by the personality of a God, head himself. And here, the most important thing that Lord discussed about, that one can see that no sin is involved in such a violence because it is done under the Krishna, It is done under the guidance of Krishna with the knowledge of a soul. So Arjuna was having fear that he may commit sin by killing all these kinsmen. But Lord says that no worries about that. Anyhow, if you not kill also, they are going to get killed. They are going to die because body is not permanent and soul is not slave, or he is eternal. So just do what I say and fight. Should we continue? Okay, we'll stop and we'll discuss tomorrow how Lord is progressing with this knowledge and clearing the ignorance from Arjuna's heart. Hare Krishna. Sorry? Yeah. No, they have, but they don't know. If they don't know, then it is generally considered Kashyapa Gotra. From Kashyapa Muni, we have come, so that is accepted. If some people they don't know really, then it is considered they are from Kashyapa Gotra. Yeah, millions of years. Since the Rishi came and from there the Roshi came. That's why that Gotra system. Or sometimes what happens, Gotra gets changed also, because when you change your seer, because one particular dynasty is following one particular Rishi and his thought process. So that is what Gotra means. If someone is following the Kaushika's philosophy, they will Kaushika Gotra. Someone is following the line of Gautama, they are called as a Gautama. Someone is following the line of Vasishta, they are from Vasishta Gotra. So that can be changed. Like someone accept the initiation from some spiritual master. So from that time, his Gotra changes to that spiritual master's Gotra. Vivasva. But we should know Vishnu. That's the general rule they follow. But because people lack, because due to the lack of knowledge, generally whatever they follow, whatever is going on. But generally it should be considered like that. Kashyapa Gotra. They are considered as the born in the Kashyapa Gotra. Millions. When the creation has started, when the Saptarshis they came into existence, that time this system has started. Hare Krishna.